What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr, and today I'm going to be bringing you a comprehensive combo guide for Maliss. Now in this combo guide it's going to be a little bit different from those that you've seen online, because rather than just going through the basic bare bones of what happens when you get Rabbit, Dormouse, Underground and everything else in between, I'm actually going to show you what happens or how you can get the Griffin lock combo. I'll then show you how you can play under and through D-Shifter. I will then show you the basic combo that you should know off of the back of Dormouse as well. Then if you want to see a part 2 to this video, whether it be playing around Droll, playing around Lancer, or just the White Rabbit, Underground and so on combos, then make sure you get the video above 50 likes in the first 24 hours and I'll be more than happy to bring it for you. So with all of that out of the way, we're going to be diving headfirst into the combo of Dormouse and how you're going to end up with a Griffin lock, SP Little Knight, and then trap cards to help you trigger off your Maliss in the graveyard. So you start off by normal summoning a Dormouse. You're going to use Dormouse's effect to banish the White Rabbit. Yes, your normal summon of Dormouse is susceptible to hand traps, but keep in mind you still have cards like hard opening up Maliss of the Underground. You have the ability to hard open up any of your trap cards, which will still cause your opponent issues because you'll be able to dodge certain effects as well. So it's not just GG, game over, I'm going to scoop and go to game 2 if this gets stopped. You still have loads more to play, which is what makes the deck incredibly good. Anyway, we're going to trigger off the White Rabbit's effect to bring it back to the board, paying the low cost of 300 life points. We're then going to use its trigger effect to set the TB11, which is the trap card you're going to want to go to 99.999% of the time, unless you hard open it, and then you can go for a different one. We'll then activate the TB11 a little bit earlier than usual. Of course, in the original combo, which I'll show you, I will show you the baselines that you should be playing. And if you go down these baselines, you'll be able to dodge certain hand traps and everything else in between. I just wanted to show you a different way of playing it so you can get a different outcome if you want to. So what we're going to do is we're going to banish the Dormouse, as this is the card that we want to be, or we haven't used its banish effect as of yet. And then of course you're going to get the Chessy Cat from the deck. If you do hard open up another Maliss card, of course you can trigger Chessy Cat to draw 2 cards if you want to. But obviously at this moment in time, I'm just going to show you the bare bones of the 1-card combo. You're then going to trigger the Dormouse effect to bring it back to the board again because you've paid its life. You haven't done its banish effect as of yet, whereas the only ones that haven't used its banish effect right now is the Chessy Cat. Then what you do is you're going to want to turn one of your Maliss cards and go into the Link Decoder, and then you'll use Link Decoder plus the 2 remaining Maliss cards to go into your Red Ransom. Red Ransom's effect will now trigger as Chain Link 1 to grab you the Maliss in Underground, and then Chain Link 2 will be the Link Decoder, so you can protect this from being Ash Blossomed, which is quite important. You want to hold back the Maliss in Underground as much as you possibly can, because at this point that's what's going to allow you to play through certain forms of interruptions like Nibiru's and everything else in between. You're then going to link the Maliss and the Link Decoder to go into the Haggard Lizardos. Of course, if you do have other cards as well, you can start going down a different route. In the other combo that I'll show you at the end of the video, you go into Haggard Lizardos a lot earlier, but this type of route of combo can actually really confuse your opponent because they're all going to be expecting the Haggard Lizardos if they've reviewed and researched this deck enough, so that the more and more you delay it, the more and more they're going to wait for it to come. And at this point, we're in a very good position because Haggard Lizardos, the benefit of it is it banishes its cost. So unless they have a way to stop this early doors so that it can't do that, or like drop a Lancer, which will change the Infleet combo anyway, you're going to be able to keep playing and playing and playing, and you hold back the Underground for a certain point that if you absolutely have to, you use it, or until you get to a combo piece where you're able to dodge certain effects and still get monsters coming back to the board. So, that being said, Haggard Lizardos is going to banish the Chessy Cat. Chessy Cat will then, of course, pay 300 life points to bring itself back, so you've paid a total of 900 life points. You're then going to link the Haggard Lizardos and the Chessy Cat to go into your Maliss White Binder. Now again, you can use the White Binder's effect if you want to, which will save the Maliss in Underground, but we've pretty much used the effect of Maliss of we've pretty much used all of the other Maliss monsters in the main deck, so the only benefit you're going to get if you do this is you're going to set up interactions later on. You'll be doing that in the last combo I'm going to show you, but for now, don't use the banish effect of White Binder, just use its main phase effect to allow you to set the GWC6. We're then going to activate the Maliss in Underground, and this time you are going to banish your Red Ransom. Now make sure when you bring Red Ransom back, you don't want it to be hitting in this zone here or this zone here, as these are where you're going to want SP Little Knight, which will help you out with your lock. So we're just going to put Red Ransom on the furthest left zone. In doing so, Red Ransom's effect will trigger on someone, which will allow you to banish the Dotscaper, and then you'll be able to trigger the Dotscaper's effect to bring it back to the board. Now what you're going to want to do here is you're going to want to use White Binder and the Dotscaper, and this is going to allow you to get into the, not Nightmare Griffin, this is going to allow you to get into SP Little Knight. Now this is why SP Little Knight is so good in this deck, is because you can even banish your own stuff. So we're going to use SP Little Knight to banish the White Binder from the graveyard, which will then trigger White Binder's effect to bring it back to the board, and then allow you to draw 1 fresh new card. So this will be a random card. You pretty much replenish your entire hand. If you count your starting hand, you now have 5. Now, the one big benefit you want to do here, which is another reason why we didn't use the White Binder's effect, is you're going to use Red Ransom, treating it as a link 1, and then of course the link 3 of the White Binder. You're going to put those both together and you're going to go into Nightmare Griffin. Then what you do is you use Nightmare Griffin's effect to discard the random card you just drew, so it is still a 1-card combo. This will allow you to reset the TB11 as well as drawing you another brand new card. So you still have your full hand of 5, or if you are just top decking and it is a 1-card combo, you've replenished that 1 card. Now, we're not saying this is the most perfect combo ever, but what you do have, because Griffin is in the middle zone, there is no way that you are pointing to any link zone that your opponent has. On top of that as well, you now have GW6 ready to go for your opponent's turn and TB11, which both don't need you to banish a Maliss card, as they will be done during your opponent's turn. In doing so, you have the ability to bring back Red Ransom or White Binder. You're probably going to want to bring back the White Binder, as this will then allow you to go here, and in doing so, again, you make sure there are no zones that your opponent can go to, so they're still going to be under like a mini skill drain. Then, of course, you can use the White Binder's effect. The White Binder could then also banish the Red Ransom, and it can also banish a White Rabbit. And the reason that you would do both of this is by banishing both of these and then maybe one of your opponent's cards, they can both come back, and then you completed an entire link lock all the way over to the other side, because it now means Red Ransom is not pointing to this zone here, and it is still pointing to the White Rabbit, which means you can set the other trap card from the deck, which is going to give you direct access to a non-target banish. So we're going to be able to bring down the MTP07. Now remember, only these two have been banished. The White Binder hasn't been banished because we revived it with the GWC. So what this now means is that you can activate the NTP07. So you activate this card the turn it was set by banishing a face-up Maliss you control, and then add a Maliss monster from the deck to the hand. So we activate this, we banish the White Binder. We then get to add a Maliss monster from the deck to the hand. So what you're going to want to do is grab a Dormouse. So you can go again the next turn. You still have that 1 random draw. And then you're going to be able to use the White Binder's effect to bring it back, still point into a link zone. So you can then trigger the White Binder's effect to allow you to draw another random card. You still have TB11 in rotation, not that you need it as you don't have any more zones. But the idea is, your White Binder has been able to banish your own cast to set these up. You've recycled your starter in the form of the Dormouse. We still haven't even used SP Little Knight. So when you use SP Little Knight, what you're going to want to make sure is that you don't banish the Red Ransom, because if you banish itself and Red Ransom, this is no longer locked and your opponent's back to allowing to use effects. But you still have the ability, after non-targeting banishing off the MTP07, you've banished from the graveyard with the White Binder. You've still got SP Little Knight to allow you to go boom boom and dodge. And then of course on top of that, or even if you don't dodge, you just go SP Little Knight and then banish a White Binder or banish itself. The only thing that happens is White Binder is now no longer linked, so it can't use its effects, but you're not going to be doing that anyway. And then you still open up the door to activate TB11. You don't need to banish anything because it's not the turn its card is set, and it still allows you to special a Maliss from the deck. So it is very, very good. And then, of course, if your opponent controls 3 or more cards, you can special summon a Maliss Link monster from your extra deck instead. So again, you're just setting yourself up with even more resource, which is absolutely insane. And I thought this combo would be good to show you how you get the Griffin lock, why Griffin is going up to £15 a copy for a secret rare. This is pretty much it. It's just a very nice little skill drain control lock, rather than going for a terahertz kind of negate lock. So it really is up to you. I do feel that it's quite a powerful combo. Now what I'm going to do is show you in combo number 2 how you play through, under, round, down, shifter, and then I'll show you the very basic combo, so it's right at the end of the video, so you don't need to hang around that entire time if you don't want to. Anyway, so we'll be back in a second. So how do Maliss play around and through its own shifter, or even your opponent's shifter? Well, I'm about to show you how easy it is. It does adapt the end board, because remember, under shifter you won't get the benefits of Terahertz, Link Decoder, Firewall, or even Hagar Lizardos and Splash Mage, but you still end on a very interactive board, all from technically 2 cards because of the D shifter, and if you open up another shifter, well, it's just going to get slightly degenerate, because you can do it again during your next turn. So you're going to start off by activating Shifter, and the reason you activate Shifter early on, and as one of the first cards you can activate, is it now means that when you summon down your Dormouse, it can kind of technically play around Veiler and Droll, as they both can't go to the graveyard, and even a Ghost Ogre. Remember that. Link off your Dormouse, which will ultimately end up getting banished to go into the Lingaribo, which will trigger the Dormouse effect to summon itself back to the board. Trigger the Dormouse effect, which will allow you to banish your White Rabbit from the deck, which of course will then summon for 300 life points, and allow you to set your TB11. Now what you're going to want to do here is you're going to want to link all 3 of these off, which will ultimately end up getting banished, and this will give you your Red Ransom. Trigger the Red Ransom's effect to grab your Maliss in Underground, and again, the reason that this is quite effective at doing it this way is you still have the TB11 to activate if your opponent tries to imperm this card. Very, very important. We're now going to activate the Maliss in Underground. Now, it's important that you do this one first because you're going to want to banish the Chessie Cat from the deck, as it's the only one that hasn't used its main deck banish effect yet. So you're going to be able to bring back the Chessie Cat to the board. Then activate the TB11, and in doing that, you're going to banish the red ransom, and you're going to summon out a dormouse, or of course a white rabbit if you want to, doesn't make much of a difference. And this will then allow you to trigger the red ransom's effect to bring itself back to the board, and then use this effect again to banish the Dotscaper from the deck, again using Dotscaper to bring itself back to the board. Again, just crazy amounts of synergy. It's absolutely insane, and it just gives you so much more advantage that you need to, because you've got these 4 monsters on the board now, and you can still continue to link your plays even further up. You're going to want to keep the red ransom on the board for now, so you're going to use your Dotscaper, your Chessie Cat and the Dormouse, and you're going to go into your White Binder. You can use White Binder's effect to banish the Shifter, and the reason that you would do that is that you've got an empty graveyard right now, so that if you were to get a Shifter again, you can use it again the next turn, as I previously mentioned. Then use the effect of White Binder to set you your GWC6, which again is very important because it can bring back from the banished or the graveyard. And again, it's just going to allow you to get a little bit more research rocking and rolling. You don't have to use it early doors, but the benefit of using it early doors is it allows you to recycle the White Binder, give you that random draw, which can ultimately end up being a Shifter, and you're still in a very good position. So you can use this early doors to banish the White Binder. And the reason you want to do this as well is you do need 3 monsters to make your Heart's Crypto, which is your main boss monster you want to go for. So you can bring back a Dormouse, doesn't need to be anything special. Bring back the White Binder. White Binder's effect will trigger to allow you to draw a random card. So you've replenished one of the 2 cards you've used, plus the remaining, just for visual representation, the remaining 3 cards in your hand as well. So then what you're going to want to do here is you're going to use all 3 of these. You're going to banish all of those. Your GW6 is also banished, and this is going to get you into your Heart's Crypto. Now, of course, you don't have a lot in the graveyard, but what you do have off the back of the Heart's Crypto is you have a quick effect to target one of your banished Maliss monsters, shuffle it into the deck, and if you do, you non-target banish 1 card on the field, which this card, when this card points to this effect, when this card points to a monster, its effects cannot be negated, and then if this card is banished, you get to pay 900 life points to special summon it and double its attack. So that's your aggressor. You still have 4 more cards in your hand. You definitely have a stack of cards that will cause your opponent issues. You just need to be a little bit careful depending on the build you're playing, because then your Veilers and your Drolls will be slightly dead. Now, it's not perfect, but this is just an alternative route so that you don't panic when you get hit with Shifter and go, oh, what do I do? Where do I go? This is one of the most basic ways of doing it, and it does give you a lot to kind of utilize. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset the board state, and I'll show you the very basic terahertz combo that everyone and their mum playing Maliss or even facing Maliss should know. So leaning into that saying, save the best till last. This is probably the best 1-card combo that the entire Maliss deck has. It is insane. Yes, it does come off the back of Dormouse, and you do have alternative combos. Do not think that this deck is only Dormouse reliant, because you do have combos that can come off the back of White Rabbit and Chessie Cat and Field Spell and everything else in between. But this is the most basic combo. Well, let's say it's basic. It's very convoluted to get there, but whew, is it a good board. So you start off by normal summoning the Dormouse. You're going to use this effect to banish the White Rabbit. White Rabbit's effect is going to come back to the board, triggering the effect to get your TB11. Deja vu again. Then what you're going to do is you're going to use Dormouse and White Rabbit, and you're going to go into your Haggard Lizardos. And again, the reason you're holding back TB11 is to allow you to play around like all other hand traps with targeted effects later on. Keep in mind this banishes the cost, so you're pretty safe from that point. And then of course Nibiru and everything else in between. Use Haggard Lizardos, and the one you want to banish is Dormouse, as you haven't used its banish effect yet. Bring it back, pay in another 300 life points, linking these 2 together, and go into the Red Ransom. Red Ransom effect will grab you Maliss in Underground, which is absolutely beautiful. Then what you're going to want to do here is you can hold back either your Maliss in Underground or the TB11. Both of them are going to pretty much get you exactly where you want to go. It just gives you a little bit more to play with, depending on what you're trying to do. So holding back the Field Spell will be a little bit more beneficial for you later on. So you're going to activate the TB11, you're going to banish the Red Ransom. This will go to the graveyard, and this will allow you to summon down the Chessie Cat. Don't worry, you don't need to use its draw effect yet. This will allow you to bring back the Red Ransom, again paying a little small sum of life points, but absolutely fine because this end board's going to be worth it. Triggering the effect of Red Ransom to banish the Dotscaper. Dotscaper comes back to the board. Then use Dotscaper and Chessie Cat to go into Splash Mage. Splash Mage's effect to allow you to bring back, pretty much go for your Chessie Cat. Nice and easy. As long as you bring back a Maliss monster, you're fine. Link these both together, go into the White Binder. It's very important on the White Binder that you banish your Chessie Cat and you banish your TB11. You want the TB11 banished, as this will set you up your Heart of Crypto during your opponent's turn. But with the Chessie Cat, it's the one we haven't used its banish effect yet. So again, it allows it to come back to the board, which is really, really important to allow you to keep your combos going. Because you basically want to kind of loop this around, and you will get to a point where you're able to draw off the back of it, don't worry. Now you use the effect of White Binder to set you your GWC06. And then what you're going to want to to do here is link off the Chessy Cat to get you into your link decoder, as you want to just loop your resource. So you're going to want to use link decoder and white binder, the other monster that hasn't used its banish effect as yet, to get you into a firewall dragon. Use the effect of your link decoder to bring this back to the board, and this is the reason you've held back the Maliss in Underground so long. Activate the Maliss in Underground, which will now allow you to banish the white binder from the graveyard, trigger the white binder effect to bring itself back to the board, and draw you one fresh random card. Now the best thing about this is Firewall is now double co-linked, so you're going to want to use this effect to bring back 2, which brings back Chessy Cat, as you'll get the draws off the back of this, and then make sure you bring back a Maliss monster, so we're going to bring back the Dormouse, as this guarantees that you can use the effect of the Dormouse to, off the back of the Chessy Cat, sorry, to draw 2. So that's where you're going to want to go. You're then going to use all 3 of these monsters, your Red Ransom, your White Binder, and your Link Decoder, to get your Heart of Crypta into rotation, which will trigger Firewall's effect as a monster it points to has left, which will allow you to special summon down the Chessy Cat, for technically the 3rd time. Use Chessy Cat's effect to banish the Dormouse, which will allow you to draw 2 more brand new cards. Keeping in mind that if you are using this as your starting hand, we still have 4 more cards in our hand, which is pretty insane. Like, we've got 7 full cards in our hand, and we're going to end up on this insane board. You then want to use your Chessy Cat, your Firewall as a link 1 plus the Heart of Crypta, and it's going to get you into your terahertz. You want to use terahertz effect to send you your Cyverse Desworm from the extra deck to the graveyard, which sets you up a nice little spell and trap negate. And then during your opponent's turn, you do have the ability for being able to send a pack bit, which is a nice little put back into the spell and trap zone, and you've got plenty of cards to discard. So that's not much of an issue. And then on top of that as well, you can also consider going into the Agitator to negate. You've got loads to do. We're not going to end the combo there. I'm actually going to show you how you continue to play this combo during your opponent's turn, as it just gives you so much more crazy advantage. It's insane. So what you're going to want to do during your opponent's turn, of course, you can use the Neo Tempest Dragon at a point that suits you best to send Agitator or, of course, Pack Bit, which deals with one of your opponent's monsters. You can then activate the GWC, and keeping in mind that this is the next turn, so you don't need to banish a Maliss monster to activate it. And the one you're going to want to bring back will be your White Binder. And the reason you're going to do this is you're going to trigger White Binder's effect. You're going to want to banish a Heart of Crypta. You're going to want to banish a Red Ransom. And then you can also banish a White Rabbit, but really is up to you. You can also banish one of your opponent's monsters. The one that I would save not banishing if you're going to banish one of your opponent's monsters is the White Rabbit, because you're going to be able to get that off of the back of your Red Ransom anyway. So you've got loads of different advantages there. It really is entirely up to you. And then what's going to happen here is your Red Ransom comes back, your Heart of Crypta comes back, and then of course you've got your Maliss. Now keeping in mind that when the White Binder came back as well, you would have drawn a nice new card, which is insane. So as you trigger off all of these different effects, keeping in mind that your White Rabbit will get you direct access to your NTP-07, which is your non-target banish, and of course your Red Ransom will grab you a field spell to go again. So our hand is stacked. So as this currently stands, what you have on the board is you have a spell and trap negate because of the Tempest with having the Druid, the Dray Swarm in the graveyard. You've negated one of your opponent's monsters. You've also been able to banish one from their graveyard if you want to, because keep in mind the Red Ransom would allow you to banish the White Rabbit from the deck, so you'd get the exact same outcome. You've then still got the NTP-07, which allows you to activate the turn it's set by banishing a face-up Maliss. You add a Maliss monster from the deck to the hand, and if you control a Maliss Link monster, which you do, you get to non-target banish one card on the field. So the benefit of that one when you activate it is it will also give you a guaranteed access to your Dormouse, so you can pretty much start a combo like this all over again, which is disgusting. If that wasn't enough, you've also got the Hearts of Crypta that lets you target one of your banished Maliss cards, either your Dormouse or the TB11. It's probably going to be the TB11. You get to put it back into the deck, and then again, non-target banish one of your opponent's cards. So we've had 2 non-target banishes, which is insane. We've banished from the graveyard, also insane. We've replenished our entire hand, which is why this deck can play so many gosh darn hand traps. It's absolutely amazing. And then of course you've got the 2 negates you've got in the graveyard as well. And then if this all survives, which it probably will do, you're going to be able to push for an OTK, because at the very least Maliss can boost all of your Maliss monsters by 600, or sorry, the Dormouse can boost by 600. And that's before you go, okay, cool, Crypta, recycle the Dormouse, which gives you another banish. Yeah, it's just pretty insane. And very, very easily, for any of you that are slightly confused on how you can make this work going any further forward, is that you can literally very easily just go, let's get rid of Hearts and Crypta. Actually, don't need to get rid of Heart and Crypta. I mean, this one doubles its attack, so it's already pretty stacked at 5k. So I don't know why your opponent wouldn't be able to complete an OTK here. It would make no sense to me. But just for the sake of it, if you use your White Binder plus your Rabbit, your OTK machine from this point on would then be access code. Access code would gain 3k because of white binder. Use access code's effect to banish the white binder, which will of course non-destroy one of your opponent's monsters. You can then use white binder's effect to come back to the board. You draw one more card off the white binder. This is obviously going to be up to 5-3. This is up to 5k. You've got 23 there, 23 there. And then of course you've got your terahertz, which is already at 3k. Plus, yeah, I believe it gains additional attacks as well because of the attributes it's sent. So yeah, it's just woohoo! Absolutely mental. And the amount of hand advantage we got off of that back of that is crazy. Cool. So that's pretty much it for the comprehensive combo video. I probably should have called it the Dormouse combos, like all Dormouse combos, maybe. But the idea is I just wanted to show you what the deck can do. I wanted to show some of the combos that I haven't seen featured as frequently on some channels, mainly playing around D-Shifter, mainly showing how you get the Griffin lock, if you want to go down that route or not, because pretty much the exact same combo that gets you the Griffin lock also gets you the terahertz lock, so you're pretty much up to you which one you want to go for, and yeah, go from there. Anyway, I hope this has been informative. Whether you're going to be facing this deck, whether you are looking to play this deck itself, it is going to be one of the very, very high level competitive decks for the upcoming format. And I can't wait to see how many of these are going to be featured at YCS Birmingham next year. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Any questions at all, by all means, please put them in the comments down below. I will be more than happy to answer them for you. For now, as absolutely always, stay safe and, of course, happy dueling.